All right, today we are diving into a really fascinating philosophical framework. It comes from an untitled work, and it offers a whole new way to think about, well, pretty much everything. Our own consciousness, the universe, the whole shebang. Let's get into it.
So let's start with this question, something I think we've all felt. Have you ever been in a dream and had that weird sensation that you're just along for the ride? You're there, you're experiencing it, but you're definitely not in the driver's seat.
Well, what if that feeling isn't just some random brain glitch? The source we're digging into today suggests that feeling is actually a huge clue, maybe the key to understanding how reality itself is put together. Okay, so to kick things off, we're starting right inside the mind. We're going to use the dream state as our laboratory, so to speak, to pull apart two very different things that are happening at the same time. Think about it. In a dream, your brain is like this rogue movie director. It's building entire worlds, characters pop up out of nowhere, the laws of physics take a vacation, and you didn't approve any of it. But through all that chaos, one thing is constant. You're still there, watching it all happen. And this right here, this is the big idea. It suggests there are two parts to you. There's the constructor, your brain, which is the biological machine building your reality. And then there's the witness, the part that just experiences it. The one who's watching the movie.
Now, the source uses a word here that might throw you, spirit. But it's really important to know, it's not talking about anything mystical or religious. It's just a label for that quiet, observing part of you, the simple, raw awareness that's experiencing everything.
Okay, so take that idea, the builder and the witness, and now let's zoom way out. Because this framework argues that the exact same pattern applies to the entire universe.
The universe doesn't have a to-do list. It doesn't have a 5-year plan. It just runs on a really simple, unbreakable loop of cause and effect. An action happens, it causes a reaction, and that reaction keeps the whole thing moving. Over billions of years, all that movement creates a direction. Kind of like how a river carves a canyon. But there's no intention for a canyon. It just happens.
And here's the kicker. That feeling of purpose, of meaning, of things happening for a reason, that's not built into the cosmos. That's us. That's the witness, our consciousness, interpreting the motion we're a part of and giving it a story. See, the whole system isn't a puzzle to be solved. It's not leading to some grand finale or a final answer. An answer would mean the process is over. But the very nature of this system is that it never stops. In fact, the source says that its incompleteness is exactly what allows it to keep going.
Okay, that's a lot of big cosmic talk. But what does this mean for you, on a Tuesday when everything's going wrong? This is where this whole philosophy becomes an incredibly practical tool for getting through the tough stuff. So right off the bat, let's be super clear about what this system is not. It's not a religion. It's not trying to sell you on an idea, and it's definitely not a magic answer machine. Think of it more like a tool for stabilization, a way to find your footing when the ground is shaking beneath you.
You know that feeling, right? When a crisis hits, your brain just screams for answers. Why is this happening to me? What does it all mean? We desperately want clarity, but demanding it in the middle of a storm is usually what causes us to spiral.
This is where the system flips the script completely. It says, forget about clarity for a minute. That's not the goal. The only goal is to keep moving. Just taking one more step, that's the win. Continuation is the progress.
So it throws out all those big, scary why questions and gives you just one super simple, practical question to focus on. What's the next step that doesn't break you? That's it. It's not about solving the whole problem. It's about finding the very next sustainable action that keeps you in motion. Okay, let's zoom out one last time because there's a twist. It turns out this whole engine of continuation is powered by something we spend our whole lives trying to avoid.
Get this. In this system, perfection is a dead end. Static, perfect things don't change or grow. It's the instability, the imperfection, the failures that are the actual engine. Failure isn't a bug in the system. It's a core feature. It's the data that allows for refinement and keeps everything moving forward.
All right, so how does this whole framework stack up against some of the biggest questions we ask ourselves? The source gives some pretty mind-bending reframes.
First up, the classic debate. Do we find meaning out there in the world, or do we create it ourselves?
The system's answer is, well, it's kind of neither. It says meaning isn't some treasure you find or a sculpture you build. It's fuel. It's a biological process. It's what our brain interprets to motivate us into action, which in turn allows us to gather more data and keep evolving.
It's a tool, not a destination. Next question, a big one for identity. What are you really? Your body changes, your memories fade, your thoughts are always shifting. So what is the constant you in the middle of all that? Think of it like this. Your brain and body are the hardware, the computer. But you, the witness, the spirit, you are the electricity. You're the power source that makes the whole machine run. You aren't your thoughts. You're the presence that experiences those thoughts.
And finally, this question pushes the limits of what we can even know. What if there are truths about the universe that are just fundamentally beyond our comprehension?
And the answer here is, well, it's pretty humbling. The universe just doesn't care if we get it. It's going to keep doing its thing whether we have a perfect theory for it or not. Our understanding is a part of the system, not a requirement for the system to exist. And honestly, there's a lot of freedom in that.
And that brings us to the final, beautiful twist. Maybe the whole point isn't to find the final answers to these questions. Maybe the fact that the questions can't be finished is the answer. Maybe the journey, the motion, the unending process of discovery is the whole point. The incompleteness isn't a flaw. It's what makes the ride possible.